Hello everybody, Jay-chan here, and today I was gonna talk about dyslexia, because I have dyslexia myself and I don't think it's a very touched on subject. So I'm gonna start with a brief explaining of what dyslexia is, and then I'm gonna talk about my own experience with it. So dyslexia is a condition that makes it hard for people to decipher things. If you have number dyslexia, you have hard with math and other things that has to do with numbers. If you have normal dyslexia, you might have problem with these three things, at least what I know of in my own experience. Letters and alphabet. It it can take very long time to learn the alphabet and know how things are supposed to be, like B and D. It's very hard to remember which one is which, and writing wrong is very easily. And it's you might have hard to read. It's of course different for everyone, but I at least had very hard to read because letters were jumping around, whole words could be jumping. I could read until the end of a line, and all of a sudden I was lines down without even knowing it. Other things you can have hard to decipher is maps. Not like you can read the map. Of course, you can read it like normal people, but if a teacher gives you this homework, like you get 5 countries, and you have to name the capital city of all of them, and point them out, and also all the rivers in those countries. Point all of that out. You get a map, you will remember it in your mind, and then write it on a paper later. That's impossible. I can sit in hour after hour after hour and training on a map, but I will not remember where that country is, where that capital is, and where that river is in that country. I'm not going to remember all that. It's not going to stick in my mind. Another thing that can be hard to cope with or decipher is notes. I marked this quite recently when I played piano, and I saw that I have hard to remember. Yes, I see it's a note, and yes, I see it's if it's a four-part note or a half note or a whole note, but I don't see which note it is. I have to count like those lines that they lay on or lay between to know which note it is. That's a brief explaining of what it is. My own experience is it started in first grade when we got our first like reading homework, and our teacher would do so that she would stand in front of the class and read the part of the text that we were going to read. And she read in the hardest to read book. It was hard to read, medium, easy to read, and then there was this red like mark that had two white L's on it. That means easy to read in Swedish. At last, easy to read. Men, but I had the easiest book, easy to read, because they saw that I had hard reading before. Partly, probably, I was the only one having that had that book. And then, when she had read this part of the text that we were going to read, then I got home and was going to read it from my parents, and I could say exactly what she had told us, things that weren't in my textbook because they were in her, and things that weren't exactly the same because they were different books. But I didn't read it. So when I started reading it, words jumped around. I couldn't read letters. I had very hard time with reading out words. It happened times I would cry for doing my homework. Then this keeps going, and in third grade, because my mom and dad has brought up this problem time after time, and in third grade they sent me to a eye doctor. I don't remember what it's like. Eye doctor that gives you glasses, and I get a pair of reading glasses that I actually don't need. I have such a small problem that I can read without them. And then we go on and go on and go through nearly all of third, fifth, and sixth grade. In the end of sixth grade, because of they under these years have looked if I have H ADHD and or something like that with a thing that's called boop. Uh, and no, I don't. So they send me to a person that looks if you have dyslexia, and they come up with that I have it. But because there were only 5 weeks left of sixth grade before I come up to like seventh, eighth grade, and ninth grade, that is in another house. So, and with all new old teachers and stuff. So our teacher says this: I won't give you any help because there's only 5 weeks left in the year. The only thing that changed was that I got an E instead of an F in Swedish on my grades. Probably because I had dyslexia and she understood that she had to flex it a bit. Then when I come up to seventh grade, I meet my mentor, and she tells me that, oh, you have dyslexia. Well, then I will help you. We will get you a computer, a Chromebook that can help you so you can write down things easier. We can let you, when you do a test, maybe if a question is too hard, you can read it out instead of writing it. Speak with the teacher about it and tell them what you thought about it instead of just writing it down. So I have it much better now than when I'm in 8th grade, but still it's this thing that teachers don't really understand. Many teachers, not all teachers, there are very great teachers. I have many very great teachers now, but some teachers don't really understand that the children might need more help that you by yourself can give them, that you might have to get people in, because this is just a summing of what both me and my mother kind of got out of what my teacher before or told us. This is just mostly what I got, but oh, yeah, God, this is a very long video. Like, oh, you can read, and yes, I can read. It takes me a bit longer time, but what she means is more like you can read. Well, then if you don't read or read slowly, or it takes more time for you than the others, then you're just lazy. Because we have this like Swedish book that would be like something, and I still had the same book that I had in got in second grade when I ended 5th grade, because it takes a long time for me to go through those books. And she thought I was lazy. That's why I got an F. My first grade ever, I got an F. The only F I got was in Swedish, my own language, because they didn't understand that I had a problem. So this was all I had to tell you today. So I hope you all have a great day. Like or not, subscribe or not, whatever you want. Bye, everybody.